Okay, hi. Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to this exclusive webinar from Standard Chartered Bank India, brought to you by Standard Chartered Bank, about health, wellness, and protection. My name is Nikhil Shimpi. I head the insurance products and wealth proposition for the bank, and I have two guests with me here today, one of which does not require too much of an introduction. Dr. Mickey Mehta is a holistic health guru and a life coach, has been associated with holistic health for the past 40 years?
Well, thank you.
36 years, actually. And he's a published author. He's been a mentor to top of India, leading industrialists, media barons, sports people, and also entertainment industry. Another guest that we have today is Atul Bhandari. Atul has more than 16 years of WorkX. He has been working with Standard Chartered Bank and Citibank in the past, currently works as a Senior Vice President at Max Bupa Health Insurance Company. To dive into today's topic of holistic health and wealth, I think we oft talked about this subject. I think all of us, we keep talking about how it's important to us and how we want to bake in some part of this into our life. But not always is that really possible. We go through stressful lives, and invariably, some of it we find that we get back home sometimes stressful and also irritable at some small things.
Very much.
It is important that we bake in and bring in health practices within our well-being and being able to improve our lifestyle. So let me take the first question to Mickey here. And Mickey, what is your view, and how do we bring in healthy practices into our day-to-day life to improve our wellness?
Thank you, Nikhil. We ought to know that fitness, health, wellness, and well-being is our birthright. And we should have it at any cost.
Yeah, that is so true.
We must have it. And having said that, self-disciplining and self-love is very important. I think disciplining follows later. But self-love is so important. If you love yourself a lot, if you love your family a lot, and if you love your alma mater, your corporation where you work a lot, and the country and the world, you should be responsible. So it's being responsible, okay? And being responsible, you make choices. You make choices of activity, which gives you fitness, health, wellness. You make choices of food, which give you fitness, health, wellness, well-being. You make choices to rest well, to recreate well. You make choices to laugh. You make a choice to be more compassionate, because everything starts with love, as I said, self-love. Love drives everything. It's the single most driving force. It's the single most healing force. Because when you say health, health means healing. Healing means sacred, sacrosanct. And it couldn't be possible without love, sincerity, and devotion. And it has to start with exercise, food, rest, breathing, recreation. Very important.
Thanks for that, Mickey. In fact, on that topic, again, I think physical activity and, being able to bake that into our lifestyle. Often then, we've heard you speaking about reverse aging.
Yeah.
And the universe, sort of helping you out, or rather working with energies coming together.
Absolutely.
When you're able to devote that time and effort to baking the health style, the lifestyle and physical activity. What's your thought on that part?
We should understand that 13.8 billion years back, when the first life was spotted on the rims of the volcano, scientifically now it is called chemolitho-autotrophic hyperthermophile, whatever it is.
Could you say that again? I'm not going to ask you to repeat that.
It's still better than supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, but nevertheless, the first speck of life was detected there. From that point till today, we have evolved intelligently.
Right.
Everything is about intelligence. And intelligence is about synchronicity, synchronization, connectivity. So now we all have grown and evolved out of a rhythm. And now this rhythm has to get synchronized with the universal rhythm. So we have a rhythm we are born with. So that's called the circadian rhythm.
Right.
Now when the circadian rhythm gets synchronized with the universal rhythm, the geomagnetic forces. So let me put it: sunrise, sunset, full moon, weaning, waxing of the moon, okay, your digestive cycles, the tides, the ocean energy, the moving of the earth, the directions, the dimensions, the gravity. So it is literally said that time, matter, space, light, motion, mass, causation and effect and gravity are responsible for disease and death. decay, disease, and death. So we have to synchronize, therefore, so that wake up in the sunrise hour, sleep reasonably after sunset, maybe by 10:30, because after 10:30, the gravity, depletes your energy faster.
Right.
Okay. Exercise when your energies are rising in the body. So with sunrise, your pineal gland gets activated and the energies begin to rise. And that is the time the functions of the body prime. By noon, they prime. So best time to work out is in the morning. You must exercise every day. And exercise is no great rocket science. It's about stretching, contracting, bouncing, enjoying the rhythm of the body. You can play music, crunching and getting into postures. And postures could be stationary, they could be dynamic and fluid. But basically, it's celebration of kinds. Yeah. Exercise should never be a punishment.
Right.
It should be a celebration. And this celebration is which will reverse your universe. It will make you younger. Not just stop your aging, it will make you bright. Guess my age, 55. I certainly don't look that. I know that. And if you could be shining and, radiating like that, you could be vibrating and pulsating with energy even if you become an octogenarian or when you become an octogenarian.
Right.
And this is no mean feat. And it's very simple and not very complex. It's just being disciplined, eating the right. I propagate vegetarianism, so of course eat a lot of wholesome vegetarian food. Should you be eating meat, bring the quantity down, eat lots of vegetables, lots of whole grains, lots of wholesome food, and lots of fruits, nuts, herbs, dry fruits, condiments, spices, seasonal, but sub-maximal.
Right.
The principle of exercise should be conserve and preserve. So conserve your breath and preserve your body.
Yeah. Right.
That's the Ayurvedic principle of exercise, which is why in yoga there is never a burnout.
Right.
Because burnout is, stupidity. Push culture is a very occidental way of getting the max out of it. So when you get the max out of it, you're depleted. Your body should be able to recover in 24-hour cycle and then replenish itself with the nutrients needed and recover itself and heal itself in the sleep needed.
Right.
So everything is just so simple. So appropriate exercise, appropriate food, at appropriate time and in appropriate quantity, and sleep well.
So good thing you mentioned that. So just a quick question on that. When you say appropriate time, Mickey, and coming back to what I said earlier, that, in our day-to-day stressful lives, you get back home late, you start early, especially when you're in a large city like Mumbai, Delhi, etc., spend a lot of time traveling back and forth to work. Sometimes what happens is you don't really get all the time to be able to weave this in. So how much time, according to you, is appropriate for baking in a regular health activity of any sort, be it yoga, be it workout, be it whatever? What is that exact time?
If you're very, very disciplined with your food, according to me, a 21-minute exercise program, 20-minute exercise program is just sufficient to stimulate your body, energize it, rewire it to keep going on, and it is good for cellular regeneration, improves bone density, improves your musculoskeletal connectivity, your psychoneuroconectivity, your coordination, your balance to keep you alive, to have your cognitive strengths alive, to keep you going, and moreover to keep you agile in your mind, agile in your body.
Right.
So when you're agile in your mind and agile in your body, your confidence, your spirit, your conviction, everything is heightened. Your immunity is also heightened. So 21 minutes should your food and drinking habits be completely disciplined.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, even probably 3 hours may not suffice.
There you hear, 21 minutes. So there's no excuse of not weaving this into our lifestyle.
So I always tell people that, exercise like a human and not like an animal. Eat like a human and not like an animal. Therefore.
Yeah, so no more excuses. So everyone's got to get onto the health pitch.
See, it is fun. Yeah. I'm telling you, intoxication. Exercise is the only intoxicating thing in life. Right. Because when you really stretch, contract, take postures, position, breathe, get into the rhythm, your happy hormones go high. Right. And high.
Right.
And the feel-good factor So endorphins, dopamine, oxytocin, everything, you are enriched, your endocrine system says, thank you, I'm secreting, I'm alive.
Now I know why he has 1 million followers. Anyway, next to the next question.
Please.
Mickey, in the past, you've also mentioned about the importance of peace of mind and how positive thinking can bring in a difference in both mental and physical health. What is, in your opinion, how important is bringing the peace of mind factor in life?
Exercise is all about peace of mind to start with.
Right.
But if you're looking at collective destiny, we are subjected to pollution. We are subjected to stress. Yeah. We are subjected to impurities in food. We are subjected to the pressures of the peer, of the family, your corporations. So we are not free from that. There is chaos.
Yeah.
In this chaos, we try our best to bring order. But at the same time, the best way to do it is be protected. Today, science always says prevention is better, protection is better. So don't worry, be happy. The lovely song, the whistle comes to my mind. It goes like this. Now let's come to don't worry, be happy. For which, of course, our partners, Max Bupa here, they know it best how to keep you secured.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm sure once you have this, you can sleep so sound. Literally, our sleep gets disturbed because of the chaos around us. This secures you and protects you from every chaos of life and every unprecedented, inevitable, whatever.
Yeah. Very interesting you say that, Mickey. And, just taking a cue on that, I think, and Atul, before I bring you in, I think all of us, when it comes to healthcare, we are always looking for the best of the best.
Absolutely.
We never compromise
Absolutely.
on that.
Yeah. Which is why I'm here.
At the same time, we also know, especially in a country like India, a same procedure that possibly was, maybe costing, say, 2.5 lakhs today as a critical illness cover, today the procedure will cost about 10 lakh rupees in a quality health
It's horrifying.
It's horrifying.
And this is the very reason that every person who's employed, self-employed, working, everyone in the family needs this kind of protection. They need to get insured. And of course, I believe and understand the products Max Life has, Bupa.
Yeah.
They are one of the best good solutions and they're very friendly.
Yeah, so just on that point, and and we also know that from the research that is out there in open, that 70% of the spends done in healthcare are out of pocket.
Yeah.
Only 4 or 5% of that comes through an insurance cover, which again tells us that when someone needs to get treated, he ends up breaking his savings or his investments, which is not ideal because you're trying to put your savings towards a better future. So
people go in debts. They
Absolutely.
dry up and go in debts.
Yeah.
So it's very unwise not to be protected.
So on that point, and just to bring you in, Atul, on this aspect, what is your view on why does a person go and buy a motor insurance fairly intuitively, but does not go and buy a health insurance? And what is there to lose for a person who doesn't have or who's not fully insured?
Yeah. So first of all, thanks, Mickey, for the kind comments on...
You deserve it because you've been doing a great job.
But I think one very important piece, Nikhil, that you touched upon and something that I think Mickey also touched upon. Unfortunately, what's happening today is there is one lack of awareness which is leading to insurance penetration being quite low.
Yeah.
The other big piece, what we see, and someone who's been part of wealth planning and discussions with different ages, different categories of customers. One thing that we have noticed is people treat health insurance as a sunk cost. So at times that's a limitation which is there in your mind, because unlike the other places where you put in money and you think that okay, something will come out of it in some years, it will be XYZ percentage points more. This is so very essential for the protection of the wealth that you've built up. Health insurance is essentially required when it's unpredictable, right? When you don't expect it. So you can't say that before I will get sick with something is when I will buy this. No, that's not possible. So you can't really time it. What I keep telling people when I meet is the best time to buy health insurance is now.
Is when you can buy it.
Is now. So for every age, for across different categories of customers, wherever you are, you don't need to think what is the best and most appropriate time to buy health insurance. When you're thinking about it, I think that's the time that you should buy it. There are advantages of kind of also buying it early. I think to the question that you had, why do people not pick it up? So I think that's an element of thought process which needs to get corrected. People are getting more and more aware out of it. So that's one positive movement that we are seeing in the thought process for people today on the wealth side, and I'm sure the bank does that with many of their clients. This should be part of a wealth management conversation, because you're not just doing protection and coverage for your well-being, you're also preserving your wealth. And it should be as essential as that in all the conversations that people have with customers.
Thanks, I think this is pure prudence. I think
that's right.
Pure prudence.
And I think just to continue on that, and obviously the market is moving fast. Options that customers are getting available are also tremendous.
Yes.
Can you throw some light, Atul, on newer health insurance possibilities that are available today in the market, which include things like wearables, which include things like a policy which sort of observes what your lifestyle is, and therefore then tries and gives you benefits at a later stage.
Absolutely.
Can you talk about some of these trends which are coming out in the industry, and how does it help the customers going in future?
I think that's a very interesting question. What we have also done is, over a period of time, to try and understand what do customers want, and therefore then try and model solutions around it. One big piece that we have identified is people, because of the thought process of the sunk cost and so on, want health insurance not just to be of use to them when they are in the hospital, but effectively being part of their lives. So one big change which is happening is manufacturers like us are trying to create propositions, solutions which allow people to consume health insurance, so to say, outside of the hospital. Now, be it through outpatient services, be it through wellness related activities, be it just the annual checkup which is kind of provided with the health plans, be it health coaching, be it stress management. These are all kind of life solutions which are
and also linked
more and
in
more
with what Mickey said a while ago.
Good for my industry. I'll get more work out of it.
So it just kind of that ecosystem needs to be there. So that I think that's one big piece which is a change.
I think this is so good, because they literally encourage people to engage themselves, not just give them a cover and give them a hope, but they encourage them.
You have to handhold the whole lifestyle.
Correct.
Absolutely, so good. And supporting every kind of wellness initiative and endeavor through your system is fantabulous.
And the wearables are actually becoming, they are the rage, and not just because they are available. We did a survey actually with some set of our existing customers who have health insurance, and we found as much as 15 to 16% people are already using some kind of an app, right? Smartphones are there literally with everyone now. They are using at least an app to do some kind of health and wellness kind of activity. So whether it is managing their steps, whether it's trying to punch in food, people are clicking pictures of what they're eating and then trying to figure out the nutritional value of it. There is a belief and I think an involvement, so to say, in your own wellness, which is coming through this. So we are trying to build products and solutions which also kind of try and incorporate. Again, the idea being, don't use health insurance only when you're going to the hospital, right? Let it be part of your lives.
So let me take that question to Mickey actually. And in a day and age that we are really bombarded with information, and bombarded with the way the information reaches us.
Forwarded as received.
Forwarded as received, as well as it coming into our personal devices at our time and space. Is there also some space for able to sort of sift through what is real and what is maybe not as real? So which means, for example, you read about 100 diet plans, or you read about doing this is good. The same thing may come after 6 months saying doing this was not good. Things like that. So what is the real, how does one navigate through the lot of information that is available today at the palm of our hands, Mickey?
So today, earlier there used to be knowledge. Today there is information. Earlier there used to be knowledge which would translate into wisdom. Because knowledge, when applied, becomes experience, and experience gives you wisdom. So information, unfortunately, there is so much of information, and literally the user behavior is being tracked.
That's right.
By the apps. And they give you the information what you attract.
That's right.
What you subconsciously you're looking out for. Which is why you get bombarded. So we should consciously look out for information and knowledge which is life regenerating, life affirmative, and life positive in terms of building up. And one has to literally build communities. Like I am a part of at least 7 to 8 good WhatsApp groups, which have around 150 to 200 people, where we only discuss wellness. Wow. We don't do political bashing. We don't do any kind of bashing for the Bollywood people. We are not happy when somebody goes to jail. We don't rejoice when somebody gets bail. We simply enjoy and celebrate wellness.
Wow. Wellness.
Yeah. Simply.
I think you said it, life positive is the
life positive, and be optimistic always. So when you start creating the ecosystem of wellness around you, and these are the people, then they start sharing that I had these lovely sprouts, or the lentils available here are good. The nachni chips are unsalted and they are baked. Or the particular, this kind of smoothie doesn't have dairy. It has all the fiber. It is unstrained. They put nutmeg inside. So these are the things which we enjoy sharing on the platform. This is what brings joy to us. So one must create that ecosystem.
Right.
And you must make the choices of the friends you keep, your circles you keep,
sure.
and who do you want to engage with. Engage with creativity, engage with productivity, engage with vision, and engage with wisdom.
Thank you, Mickey. Just one more thing to the viewers. We're getting tons of questions. So we will take, just to let you know, all your questions, or at least most of them, we'll try and answer. We will finish, the module will be that we'll finish our conversation and then dive into questions. I see a lot of them coming in, Mickey, so we'll take them at the end of...
come on, let's have a ball.
So moving on, Atul, I think another question. Invariably people, and this is, largely around people who are working in, say, organized setups, etc., tend to be lulled into or sort of believing that, I get covered by my organization. I get covered by a company to an extent. Having said which, that's not always the case.
Yes.
Because critical illness cover could be a lot more than what is required. As well as not always available when you really want him to sort of get in. What is your thought and advice to our customers who come in on this aspect of health insurance?
I think that's again a very pertinent thing, Nikhil, that you're raising. Most of us as corporate citizens have at least something or the other which the organization provides for. And while it's a good start to have, it's not necessarily the full safety net that you require, right? So there are different companies which cover different things. So you would have someone who may cover the employee, not the immediate family. There is someone who will cover the immediate family, but maybe not the extended family. I think the Indian household kind of runs as a full unit. So what you need to do is, when you're talking about coverage, even if it is provided for by the organization you work for, one is look at it and assess for it in terms of totality of what is available and who all are included in that. That becomes one important variable. And we have found in most cases there are gaps around that.
Right.
The other big piece is around the coverage value in itself. So the large metros where we live in, right, as you touched upon earlier, the treatment costs of everything are shooting through the roof. And they keep going up. Medical inflation is so high. So something which is available from the company usually remains at a certain level.
At a basic level.
So that may not be sufficient from an overall point of view. So that becomes the other piece. The third big thing I think which we need to kind of be cognizant of is there are a lot of lifestyle diseases. There are a lot of non-communicable diseases which are kind of bringing this illness and all of this to younger ages, to the employees that you're talking about, right? Which is largely a sub 35 years of age segment. And that's the pocket of people who need to understand and realize that they need to be covered for not just the core hospitalization, but maybe something on critical illness. They need to get covered for stuff like even cancer, because all of those are getting now impacting customers at a much, much earlier age.
Sure.
Also for breadwinners, you need to protect not just the wealth that you have, for the consumption of the family. You will also need money to get treated.
Sure.
These are not small expenses by any means. So I think that's one pocket which needs to get utilized appropriately. And the other piece which we spoke about, right? Health insurance is no longer only in the hospital, which means the younger guy, I'm more used to looking at apps. I'm more attuned towards checking how many steps have I done by 2 p.m. and so on and so forth. So those are things which again you can consume, and these are not available through the corporate covers. So that's something that one should look at, enhance, and then kind of...
I think incentivizing health is very, very important for insurance companies, and engaging people, also interacting with them. This is so good, because we have to build a community who swears and pledges wellness.
Absolutely.
That is so important.
Absolutely. So is there, and Mickey, coming back to you, is there a particular sort of, for a lay person who's not gone and, continuously doing, say, a health checkup every 6 months or a year, are there any indicators for a person to know whether he is physically fit or not without doing tests? And how important, according to you, is sleep in a routine? And how much of it is important? 6 hours, 8 hours, we keep talking about, there are some people who just don't sleep.
Yeah.
Or they believe, or they think that, sleep, if I sleep, I'm slowing down. So I'm going to keep running. So as a holistic health guru, Mickey, can you throw some light on these aspects, which is both sleep, as well as are there any indicators that people can sort of follow without keep going into a health place to do a test to find out whether you're healthy or not?
Yeah. Let me disconnect physical fitness with organic wellness inside.
Sure.
Yeah, these are two different things.
Absolutely.
They could be integrated, and this could be a great organic unity.
Right.
But most of the people who are physically fit are not necessarily organically healthy inside.
Right.
They're not well inside. Okay. But let's presume somebody is, well and fit and healthy put together. The certain markers of fitness, health and wellness are that A, are you hungry well in time? And is your hunger good?
Okay.
Because hunger for food is very, very important.
Yeah.
Do you get a good night's sleep? When you wake up in the morning, are you raring to go?
Right.
And what's your appetite for sex? These are general medical, clinical markers. When these 4 markers are in place, people understand that, okay, this guy is, perfectly generally healthy. Yeah. But now let's come to fitness. If you are able to touch your toes,
right.
If you can do probably 10 Surya Namaskars, if you can probably do 3 minutes of jumping jacks or skipping, let's bring it down to 1.5 minutes.
Sure.
3 would be too much. If you can constantly do a Kapal Bhati for maybe say 2 minutes. Interesting. If you can sit in one position doing nothing for 10 minutes, happily, you are healthy, fit and fine.
I think you've just given Mickey 5 tests for us to do after the webinar is over.
And I'm wondering whether we want to do that test, Atul and me at least. I know Mickey is healthy, but anyway.
So bringing order amidst chaos is what health, fitness is all about. So, fitness to well-being is a ladder of evolution. The world is moving towards weight loss and shaping up and tone and agility and sports excellence and biceps and triceps. I simply tell people, if you want good biceps, uplift the poor. If you want good shoulders, take the responsibility of the underprivileged. If you want to have good, strong legs, be rooted in humility to be better rooted in humanity.
Well said.
And if you want to have a good vision, have a collective vision for everybody. So these are the things you should bring to fore. Today, health, fitness should translate into building a personality. Like a healthy and a fit person will be a compassionate person, will be full of empathy, sympathy, philanthropy, will be benevolent, will be very kind, and will be forgiving, will be blessing. He will be creative, he'll be productive, he'll have a vision, he'll have a purpose.
Right.
And thus, he will add to the happiness quotient of this world.
Very well said, Mickey. I think thank you for those pearls of wisdom.
Thank you.
The other thing that we're noticing, one is that with increasing income, so is lifestyles, right?
Yeah.
And while you are living longer, we also notice that the incidence of critical illnesses is happening earlier.
Yeah.
So if a person, while of course you're living longer because you get the medical support, but the incidence is happening much earlier, and we keep reading about a younger guy getting some critical illness. Point of view of how is it that a protection plan can come in, and what's the importance of a protection plan to come in at the right time? Atul, any thoughts on this piece of early incidences?
Sure. I think the two big things which at least people on the earlier side of the age need to be careful of to provide for that safety net against the wealth planning that they do is one, a personal accident kind of a coverage, because at a younger age, right, that's the piece that you need to be aware of, be wary of. I think the incidences of road accidents, etc., in this country is quite high. So you need to make sure that that kind of a thing is available in your own assessment of what you want to do with your financial protection. The other piece is on critical illnesses. I think you're bang on, Nikhil. We are seeing a large number of claims now happening
much earlier
on age segments which we never used to even think of earlier. If you look around your offices, amongst your colleagues or their friends and so on, you will invariably know people who would have gone through something very severe in terms of a critical illness, be it a cancer or some such thing. Good part is treatments have improved, which means while detection is there and there is an early incidence of such diseases, they are also curable. Treatments are obviously quite expensive at this stage, but then they are available, which means if you have the option available to make sure that financially you're able to withhold and withstand that kind of a shock. The medical treatments will make sure that you kind of come out of these. So I think if you can follow what Mickey is saying, hopefully you don't kind of reach there. But if you do go through a bad experience at that point of time, something like this needs to necessarily be there in your portfolio, because you don't want that shock to not just shake you medically. It should not shake you financially as well.
Sure.
I think I have a line to say here that medical science gives you quantity of life. Wellness initiatives give you quality of life.
Right. Fantastic.
So if you just want to extend your life meaninglessly, living like a vegetable and not looking ahead like a headless chicken and just simply breathing erratically, functioning per force, is not the life we are looking at.
Absolutely.
So, the kind of engagements that you do, the kind of incentives that you give, and the kind of interaction that you do with your ecosystem, it's so important to engage everybody constantly, and please take responsibility. Love yourself, love this universe, love all. Trust me, you will always be healthy.
Thank you, Mickey. I think we're getting tons of questions, so we will be moving in there. But just before we do that, I think, Mickey, one final sort of, if I were to ask you before we wrap up our session and we go to what the, viewers are asking for, what is your final, maybe, few commandments on wellness and behavior?
My first commandment on wellness is sleep every night with a wish to heal yourself. Wake up every morning with a promise to heal the world. I believe that every single person can lead by example, realize his purpose, have a vision, follow it, and alongside keep uplifting others, create a momentum of wellness by connecting with people, sharing knowledge, sharing wisdom, sharing health, sharing happiness, sharing laughter, sharing joy is the most important healing factor in anybody's life. So that is very important, most important commandment.
Sure.
Second most important commandment is that be pantheistically inclined, which means be a nature lover, be an appreciator and an admirer of nature. And the more you mingle with the elements, the more the elements within you will come alive. So we are made up of Pancha Mahabhutas. So your fire element, your earth element, your ether, your air, and your wind element. These need to be proportionately balanced within yourself. So, those are called doshas also in Ayurveda. Once they are proportionately balanced, then you see the fineness of health and well-being which comes into you. So, and then there's a joy of living. And that joy of living is so good. And everything once again starts with, appropriate activity, appropriate food, appropriate state of mind, appropriate joy, optimism in your attitude, and most importantly, being a very loving and a kind human being.
Right.
Being noble is key to wellness, is the biggest commandment. So sharing, caring, forgiving, blessing, they are big healers. So these are the best commandments I could share with. So with everything in place, you will climb the ladder of evolution. The ladder of evolution starts at fitness, where you get all the activities, so you get your agile, your body fat ratio, your cardiovascular strengths, your body tone, and your efficiency, functionality, coordination.
Right.
Thereafter, you go one ladder up, so where there is organic unity, so heal, health, heal thy, heal them, heal thou. So there is organic unity, so there you get immunity.
Sure.
Then when you go to wellness, you get mental equilibrium, you get emotional joy. So that is being well. You think nice about the others. And then at the level of well-being, then compassionate, grace, benevolence, optimism, creativity, productivity, they all fall into place. So wellness should be aimed at the ladder of evolution, the pinnacle of existence, and not just have. You got it?
Yeah.
I hope everybody gets it.
I'm sure they will. And maybe last one to Atul before we go into the questions. Atul, so what, according to you, why is protection important in the first place? And maybe one or 2 points that you think our viewers should consider.
But you must specify which protection are you talking about.
I think good we circulated the theme. No, I think 2 key points, not to kind of hold back onto the questions for too long. I think one is insurance has to be seen more as a wellness thing now. So it is not illness, it is wellness. So there is a shift which has happened in terms of what propositions are, what solutions are, what people are asking, what we are kind of creating therefore, because that's the demand from the market. So that's a shift which is moving from illness to wellness on the health insurance side. The other piece which I said earlier, and I would kind of want to repeat it here, the best time to buy health insurance is now. Don't overthink it. It's quite simple. Everybody needs it across all age bands. There is nothing which is called the right time to buy insurance. This is something for the unpredictable, the unforeseen, something which you cannot anticipate. And that's the reason why you need to have it much before you actually utilize it. So the consumption has to follow. There's nobody who can kind of claim over a period of 30 to 40 years that they would not go through some kind of an ailment. What happens today is there is a guaranteed renewability on health insurance plans, which means once you enter, you can typically keep paying renewal premiums and continue the coverage till the end of your life. Right?
And the later people buy, the more premiums,
the more expensive it is.
The more expensive it is.
And the big piece, that's the third thing which I wanted to add, is if you start early, there are advantages, not just on the premium that you mentioned. There are also a lot of constraints which get put into your policy if you come in late. There could be exclusions put in, there could be conditions put in. You may have to go through a much more rigorous checkup to kind of come on board. There is a higher level of risk management which kind of gets triggered. So it's the best thing to do before. It's the best thing to do at the right time. There are incentives on the pricing side as well. And therefore, don't think it.
Just
you
do
don't
it.
have it right now.
Just do it.
Get it.
I think it is, in philosophical parlance, it is called faith in action.
Right.
You can have faith, but you have to move your, and you have to be action.
So viewers, we are taking our first question now, and I think the first question is, in fact, Dr. Mickey Mehta. It says, sir, throw some light on what is holistic science. And it continues, and if I were to add a little bit of Zen, Tao, and Tantra. One of my friend is viewing this broadcast from Turkey, attending your session today.
Okay. Is he a Chinese?
And we've had the best experience at this point of time seeing this webcast. And in his words, he's got Mickey-mized.
Oh, really?
That's what the question
That's
says.
my tagline. So get optimized, get naturalized, get Mickey-mized.
Yeah. So he's talking about holistic science, and he's talking about Zen, Tao, and Tantra.
So if you see the etymology of words, so how they are derived, holy comes from wholeness. Okay? Anything that is whole is integrated, and anything that is integrated is sound and pure. Holy is also refined, cleansed, sound and pure. Holy, wholesome, holistic. So that's the larger understanding of holistic. Also, there's a very, very good, a very good phrase of wholeness, that is complete, this is complete, wholeness leads to wholeness, and if wholeness is taken away from wholeness, still remains wholeness. This is a beauty of naturalism, and this is the beauty of the wholeness. So wholeness can never be lessened, it can never be more, it can only be stable in here and now, and it can be constant. It's a constant truth. So if you abide by the truth of life and the laws of the universe, you will be always in the midst of holistic health. And the science of it all, the laws of the universe, is the holistic health science. Health, once again, is healing. And the healing is heal thy, heal them. And it has to begin with heal yourself.
Heal yourself.
Heal thou. So you have to heal yourself. One has to heal. Now there are so many methodologies of healing. In Zen, there is a healing system with the breathing of chi. You just let go, you just drop dead, you just don't do anything and you heal yourself. Because when you just stop doing and start being, healing happens. In Japanese, there is a tanden breathing, which one does with the navel. When you simply don't do anything, your navel, your body balloons, your stomach balloons, and your stomach goes back inside.
Right.
So if you were to do this for 7 minutes each time and watch your breathing, you will watch your own transformation before your eyes without you having to do anything.
Wow.
Systems will fall in its place. Orchestration will happen. Body will reboot. Body will reorient. Every cell will talk to every other cell. Every system will talk to every other system, and you will become wholesome, holy again. So that's that. And then if we come to our Vedic understanding, in our Vedic understanding also dhyan. So once again, if you empty yourself, like the Tao says, that you have to empty yourself to refill more.
To refill.
Because when you empty, you allow room for things to come. So yoga is all about stretching, opening up, and allowing room for blood to flow, other vital fluids to flow, your lymphatic system to flow, your nervous system to feel easy, your cognitive skills to get brightened up, and more important, your apan vayu, which means elimination of toxins working more efficiently. So opening yourself, letting yourself go, be loose, stretch, open up, and enjoy your opening up. Very important. Be there in here now as you open up. And most important, the one who opens up in body will open up in mind. The one who transcends restrictions and rigidity of the body will transcend the restrictions and the rigidity of the mind. One who is constantly reactive will become full of response. One will become life affirmative, life positive, life optimistic, and life supportive. So this is holistic health science. I could speak for the entire day sitting here.
So that question was from Firoz Balsara.
Okay.
Next question is from Ashwini Rao. It says, Dr. Mehta, how do I plot my affirmations into my subconscious mind?
Okay, Ashwini Rao. So what happens is, even Bible says that first there was a word. In every ideology, philosophy of God and religion, everyone says that first there was a word. And word has a meaning. And meaning leads you to manifestation.
Right.
So even thought leads you to manifestation, because thought is an unspoken word. So every thought, and if you choose your thoughts well, thoughts are floating around. You have to choose your thoughts well. Your thoughts ought to be creative, they ought to be productive, and they ought to be supporting the larger interest of manifestation. And if your thoughts are aligned with the growing of consciousness of the whole universe, your thoughts will get support and energy of the whole universe, of the like-minded people. So yes, every affirmation that you make when you're aligned within yourself, with your eyes shut and your attention here, it is said that energy flows where attention goes. And when you put attention to the field, it gets energized. When you put intention into it, it gets transformed. That is the way you change your affirmation and transform your life. So change is constant. Your body keeps changing, your mind keeps changing, your life keeps changing, but it goes the way it goes by default. But you should become the choreographer of your change. Take charge.
Well said.
Take charge.
Well said. Question to Atul. It's come from Dharmendra. Says,
I'm his fan.
I hope he is the same Dharmendra. Atul, is in health insurance, is it necessary for me to disclose my pre-existing diseases, or are they automatically covered after the pre-existing period? Interesting question.
I think that's
interesting. Which means I think he's purchased it in the past, possibly.
Possibly, or he's contemplating. But I think it's a very pertinent question. Simple answer is, it is very important for you to disclose whatever you're having. Pre-existing do get covered after a certain period of time. I think different products have different periods around it, so it could be anything between 2 to 4 years. Depending upon what you're picking up. But more importantly, insurance is based on the principle of utmost faith. Therefore, whatever you have, you need to disclose. Let it be with the manufacturer and the underwriting company to get the details of. In case they wish to put certain rules around it, they should have that flexibility. And it's most important because you're buying insurance for peace of mind, as we discussed.
Absolutely.
So you do not want a situation where it comes up later, and then there is either a non-disclosure attached to it, or there are certain preconditions which should have been met but got missed out.
Sure.
So it's a very important piece. I think the greatest principle is to be fully transparent, share these details, and let the decision process go through.
Let me tell you that philosophically also, the more transparent you are, the more rhythmic your breath is.
Sure.
Because in a polygraphic test, all what they check is, are you holding back something?
Absolutely.
Whether you're out of sync and out of rhythm.
Right.
And your pupils dilate and whatsoever happens. So the more transparent you are with the world and the more open you are, your heart always beats in rhythm and you can sleep at peace and with ease. So always remember, transparency is very important. Whether it's with the insurance company or with your wife, be transparent.
That's an interesting one. Dr. Mehta, another question for you is, in today's corporate world, there is constant pressure to catch up and respond on emails and be available 24/7. I notice sometimes this brings anxiety in me. How do I control my anxiety, particularly out of office hours, as I don't want to be anxious and disturb my personal life? This question is from Srinivasa Chakravidya Narula. Sorry, long name. I hope I got that right.
Yeah.
Your
good.
name.
So it's a very simple answer.
Yeah.
The answer is that you are the master of it all. You have to choose to respond or not to. You have to choose to keep your device on or switch it off. You have to choose to throw away your device. You have to choose to break away and recreate yourself, recreate yourself.
Yeah.
I'm specifically using the word recreate yourself.
Yeah.
You have to choose. So be the master and not the slave to the situation, circumstance, and the life that we are into. Choose everything that you want in your plate. Choose what you want to deal with in priority.
Right.
And trust me, there'll be no stress. Respond to the emails when you want to. When you feel like working, go there and sink yourself into it. And when you want to take a break, SYNC, sync yourself with the universe. SINK, sync yourself in the work world when you want to. Then you go outside, recreate and come back. So sometimes this recreation could be just a few minutes. Trust me, just walk out of your desk, take a walk, pat some people, laugh with some people, just take a few deep breaths and step in again. Matter of 4 minutes, 5 minutes max, and trust me, you would have been a new person.
Sure.
A breakaway, space.
That's important.
That is so important.
I hope you got that.
I think it's not just to do with office emails. I think these days with all of this social networking, being there, you kind of connected. I mean, you wake up in the morning, usually there is something which happened on Twitter the previous day and so on.
This connectivity is out of no choice.
Yeah. So I hope Atul and my bosses are seeing these broadcasts, so we will be slightly delayed on our responses.
Yeah. See, communication is a skill, no? You don't unnecessarily keep sending mails to people and keep marking CCs to people.
Yeah.
You have to choose, prioritize, write your words with choices. Communication is an art. Art of living. Understanding is a part of living.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Question to Atul is comes from Sunil Narula. What health covers can you suggest for late realizers of 65 years and above?
Okay. I think the requirements of the cover as such don't really change so much. So the bedrock of what you need is obviously a pure play hospitalization cover, because that's the core that you would require. Obviously, if you're entering in late, the requirement of that or the necessity of that is even more. So that becomes your first core piece that you should look at. I think on top of that, we did cover the fact that critical illnesses, the probability of that happening obviously increases with age, and those should definitely again kind of come on top. However, you should also do is, if you are in that point of time where maybe you did not take this call earlier, do make sure that while you have started late, you have a family, you have a household, you want to make sure that all the others in your household kind of enter at the right age. So please guide, support, inform the younger ones in your own household to make sure that they start off these things on time.
Yeah. Thanks, Atul. I think, Mickey, question to you, and a very topical question right now. It comes from Ramesh Nagaswamy. And I say topical is really from a timing standpoint. He says,
I think I'm very popular in South India. Swamiji Pranam.
How do you set a healthy routine in the time of traveling on holidays or vacations? Because it tends to disrupt your routine. And one sets exercise routine which gets disrupted during vacations or holidays.
Routine is in day-to-day life, and on a holiday we don't follow routines. We go on a holiday to break away from routines.
Right.
So please, holidays are the best time to just be and not to do. Being yourself. You want to be in shorts? Be. You want to be yourself in Bermudas? Be. You want to go by the beach? Go. You want to go in the mountains? Go. Trek. You want to smell flowers, you want to roll in grass, you want to hug trees, you want to appreciate butterflies. These are the things to do on a holiday where you're eased out, you're relaxed, you're delving deep into nature and becoming one with the life force that is throbbing within you. It's enjoying, and that's the kind of joy one has when one goes to the holiday. So please don't go into any routines.
I think the one rule that you can follow from the question that we got earlier, be away from your emails.
Absolutely. But at the same time, exercising on a holiday is certainly a yes, not a no. Spa treatments. So if you don't want to exercise, you've been doing exercise every day.
Right.
On a holiday, take spa treatments every day. So simple. Dip yourself in a hot tub, sip a nice iced tea, dip yourself in a, I would say, a chill pool, enjoy the, exhilarating feeling of the temperatures of contrast, take a nice rub, take a nice massage, enjoy the aromas of the exotic oils and fragrances of the creams. That's the way to do it.
Fantastic. Mickey, another question to you. It comes from Rajiv Saroha. It says that, hi Mickey, is jogging a complete spectrum in itself for mind, body or spirit?
Yeah.
Or one needs to add jogging, swimming or weight training to yoga to have a complete workout?
So,
Good question.
The horse first walks, then it trots, then it canters, then it gallops.
Sure.
So, jogging is number 2, walking it starts with, and these guys have a fantabulous initiative of walkathon. They initiate thousands and lakhs of people into walkathon. It's the first initiative towards wellness, but it is certainly not the be all and end all of it, because jogging will give you the address of the cardiovascular fitness only, and maybe your calorie management, body fat ratio.
Right.
Maybe it will recreate you, you go out in the open, it will freshen up your mind. But you have to address your body holistically. You have to address your body compositely. So you have to challenge your body in a calibrated way so that there is a cellular regeneration, there is an efficiency growth, there's a functionality graph improving, there's a state of balance and coordination, focus, concentration, memory. All this comes out of composite workout plan.
Yeah.
So please, as much jogging is beautiful, but don't jog like a madman connected to music and wired up. Enjoy the beauty, see the sky, look at the birds, look at the ground realities when you jog at least.
Fantastic. Again, Mickey, question to you. It says, and I think the person obviously is alluding to the 21-minute, workout that you mentioned. It says, 1 minute. Yeah, it says, can I compensate daily exercise with healthy diet, or is it really mandatory to have the 21-minute exercise as mentioned? Please advise. Question from Alvin Ruben.
Okay, so what determines your physical transformation primarily is your food, your breath, your rest. So if you're extremely careful in what you eat, how you eat, when you eat, and you eat very sensibly, intelligently and ethically, you will be in good shape, but not necessarily in prime shape. To be in prime shape, you need to complement it with workouts.
Yeah, sure.
So
that answers
I've answered it all.
That answers the question.
That answers the question.
A question to Atul. It comes saying, should I choose a health insurance company with a third party or a company with directly settles my claim?
I think that's again a very pertinent question from someone who maybe has thought about health
It's a question from Rajan.
Yeah. So effectively what happens is the in-house processing, if at all many insurance companies now do it, we do it as well. It takes into account a lot of servicing elements. You're not dependent upon a third person to kind of go and process certain things, which means you get an advantage of time. The response times and what we are able to handle as quality matrix in-house are significantly better than kind of handing it over to a third person. Similarly, from a point of view of what the customer gets to engage with, he's connected with the company directly rather than kind of being routed through someone else, and therefore the experience and the entire process of how they kind of get out of the hospital and even get into the hospital, that process gets managed much more seamlessly. In fact, I think one piece that we do is we have a commitment that we give to customers saying that we will get you in a hospital with a 30-minute cashless authorization. And that's only possible for us simply because we do it in-house. We know that there is a dashboard which we track. There is somebody who's at it all the time to make sure that we run that seamlessly.
That is truly good. So nice.
Right.
Because there's so many insurance covers where you just can't get through them in the first place. Once you get through them, they don't get it.
Right.
And they don't get it at all.
Right. Another question, Atul, for you.
Yeah.
It says that what do I keep in mind while applying for a health insurance claim so that it does not get rejected? Insurance companies sometimes reject claims.
I think
that's a fair question.
Yeah, that's, I think, again, a two-part
From an education standpoint, what do the customers need to look out for when they're applying for a protection plan?
Sure. I think two parts to this question. One is when you're doing a claim, make sure that whatever information you have, be it the pre-diagnosis, be it at the time of diagnosis, the treatments you went through, the entire paperwork which the hospital is providing you. Share that full bunch with the claims team, because a lot of times we experience that there is something which remains missing. I know there is a huge bunch of papers which usually the hospitals hand you. So by the time you're out and you've gone through those few days of bit of a harrowing time, you maybe misplace something. But if you can be a bit cautious about it, keep the full bunch ready, make sure that you share it with us. That becomes one important point to make sure the claim gets processed seamlessly. The other part to the question is, I think, which we touched upon earlier, which is disclose everything at the time of applying. You should not leave anything to chance, because eventually what you claim for also gets looked at in the perspective of what you said when you onboarded. Right, so it's important for you to make sure you were transparent earlier. You shared everything. Absolutely. It sinks in with what the claim is, and therefore then it makes it that much more simpler and easier for us to process things in a faster fashion.
And don't fudge your claim.
Okay, Mickey, question to you comes from Paresh Patel.
Oh my God.
How do we balance between the materialistic world, fast-paced life, and growing thrust on spiritual life to achieve moksha?
Paresh bhai, kem cho? Majama. Okay, these are Gujarati, no? So I enjoy speaking Gujarati at times. So yes, very important is that we all are materialistic, period. We have to accept that fact. Now, the intensity of being materialistic, or how much materialism is important to you, is for us to understand and for our sensibilities. We must know that core values of human beings are more important than any material gains or material experiences that we enjoy.
Right.
If your core values are in place, which means you're spiritual in nature. If your core values are exercised, you express and exhibit them, demonstrate them, you are a little more spiritual in nature. And when you keep excelling in your core values, you are evolving in spirituality. And if that is happening side by side, you enjoying materialism is not a problem at all. As long as you realize that this materialism can only take you so far and not beyond. Spirituality can take you everywhere. Materialism can only take you to a point. That's it.
Okay. Another question that's come in actually from Tanaz Kasad. Dr. Mehta, any advice for an 82-year-old Parkinson's patient? Physiotherapy is key, but how do we get one to motivate a parent to exercise? So she's asking on behalf of a parent, possibly.
So there are certain systems in Ayurveda. There's one thing called Panchakarma, where there are tonics where you put in your nose oils, you oil your nose. You put medicines to the backside, that is called Basti. Then there is Vaman, which is like inducing vomit to cleanse and refresh yourself, reboot yourself. There is Abhyangam, there is Shirodhara. So if one were to embrace Ayurveda in a complete holistic way, one can reverse disease or ailments, happily, slowly. But one has to be disciplined. You have to eat clean food, you have to eat ethical food, you have to eat food at the right time, and at the same time, you have to make affirmations of healing, wanting to live. You should have a purpose to life. So please initiate a purpose to life in your parent, and your parents, living mechanism, genes will be triggered and they will begin to express with life. So these are some ways one can do. Sleep is very, very important. Instead of giving more treatments and more medicine to your parents, give more time to your parents. The more time you give to your parents, the more they'll look forward to live and be with you. So they'll be happily living longer, and give them a lot of love, lot of laughter, a lot of respect, hug them a lot, kiss them a lot, and serve them a lot. Feed them, massage them, pat them. Trust me, they will live longer.
That felt good already. Actually, we are almost out of time.
Really?
Having said which, I think questions keep coming in.
I thought we were timeless.
So I'm actually going to stop here. I'm going to thank Dr. Mehta for coming in today. Atul, thank you for coming in and joining us on a Saturday and keeping it such an interactive session. I truly believe that the advice that we have heard today from both these gentlemen, the conversations that we have put together, would help all of you to be able to bundle together both holistic health and wellness and protection to be able to lead a stress-free and a comfortable life.
Yeah, I think wellness should be a family thing. It should be like a family entertainer movie where everybody does everything together. So you go in the park together, you laugh together, you play together, you eat together. That is how wellness can become viral.
Right.
We are making so many stupidities viral. Let's make wellness viral. Let wellness be the religion number one. Join my wellness revolution for human evolution to get energized, to get optimized, to get supersized, to get maximized, to get naturalized, to get Mickey-mized.
Fantastic. So on that note, I think, thanks once again for joining us today. There will be a screen that will come after this one for you to leave your feedback for us to be able to incorporate for the next sessions. We will continue to bring in sessions for both wealth and health from Standard Chartered Bank. Must also remind you that Standard Chartered Bank has a team of trained professionals who are available to you at your convenience. To give a call out to us. We can come and meet you, or you can leave a lead. If you are interested, you can leave out a message of us to call you back, and we shall do that. And at your own convenience, you can also go within your secure banking page, and you can go into your wealth planning wealth planning pages there, and you can either, if you want to review the products, you can do that and give a call out to us. So thank you once again, and have a good day and the rest of the weekend.
I'd like to say a line here that the father of our nation, freedom fighter, not a freedom fighter, the one who got his freedom, Gandhiji, we called him Bapu, is the father of health, but the father of wellness and insurance is Bupa. So Bapu and Bupa, that's it.
So both, between Standard Chartered Bank and trained professionals and product experts who can come and meet out and visit you, who can talk about across life and health solutions. So do let us know and we will reach out to you. So thank you very much and have a good day and the rest of the weekend. Thank you.
Thank you.